Station 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning into The Source, WOCA. It's time to learn about our security in our homes, and that is keeping things locked up and safe, and that's whether you're home or away. There are so many things in technology that make that whole profession so different than it looked just 10 years ago. Seth Posner knows more about this than I ever will. He's the owner of AA Lock, Dock, and Security, and he's in the studio to answer your questions about your locks and your security systems. Good morning, Seth. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How about you, Larry?
Good. Is Seth an Irish name?
It's Jewish.
It's a Jewish name?
Yes.
So are you Jewish?
I am.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well, what do you know? So you like locks and bagels? That's a Jewish joke. Sorry.
Unfortunately, I don't like locks, but I do like bagels.
Oh, I don't like locks either. I hate those locks. Yeah, I don't know. People always say that. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
My grandmother says, "What's the matter with you? How can you be a good Jewish boy and not like locks?"
Well, but do you have anything green today? Do you become Irish for a day?
No.
No. See, I'm thinking about getting something, potatoes or something.
Corned beef and cabbage. Maybe a Reuben, because a Reuben is pretty good.
So we need to have a Jewish food day.
I think we can arrange that.
Ocala doesn't have much of that, though, right? We don't have much of that. We have
no
bagels. There's no place to get a knish. Oh, no, there is. I take that back.
You have Bagelicious right here in the Kmart Plaza, or the old Kmart Plaza.
They have knishes?
He's got all kinds of what would typically be found in a Jewish deli.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
But we did find a knish place. It was over near Robin's place. It's called the Delancey Street Deli or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where Publix is at on top of the world.
Okay.
It's the Publix shopping center. It's on the side.
Well, you're going to have a lot of Jewish people out there.
I don't know if they have any locks there. Anyway, gosh, we went all over the map, didn't we, Anya? Yeah, we were talking about the technology. Robin has a car, it's a newer car. For her and her husband.
But we never had it before.
And it has the key, and you just told us something I want you to tell the audience.
So it's got a keypad on the door, and you can use that to lock the car and also unlock the car.
And if you don't have the code, which she doesn't have it because she bought it used.
Then I have a computer that I should be able to retrieve that code number.
Wow.
Wow, that is nice.
And can you change it, or is it set in stone?
They can be changed. I actually don't know how to program your own user code to it.
Oh, okay. But you can figure it out.
I can help you with a lot of things.
Does that mean the last owner knows how to open your car?
If they know their code, but 9 times out of 10 people don't know their codes.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
And the biggest thing to always keep in mind is those keypads don't work if the car is running.
Oh, okay.
I get a lot of customers that will lock their key in their vehicle, leave it running because it's hot outside. They'll run into a store, grab something, and they'll take the remote control with them. They'll have the keypad on the door. If that car is running, it will not work.
I would never do that.
Wow.
Never.
Yeah, but I could see that being something you would think would work.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Because it was surprising to me the first time. Somebody says, "Oh, I got the remote in my hand." It's like, well, let me see that. And it doesn't work when the car's running. Shut the car off, and it works just fine.
Oh, wow. Gosh, see, I'd be the one to make that mistake. I'd have the dog in the car. I'll keep the air on while I go in there.
Wow, isn't that something?
Now, the newer cars are a little bit different than the older ones. I think the manufacturers got a little wise and decided that they had to start making some changes. And so the remotes will work.
Boy, that's interesting.
The sheriff has a new campaign. I'm trying to remember what it was. It rhymes. It's like keep your door locked and keep what you got, or something like that. What is that new slogan he's got?
Something like that. You're close.
Yeah. So they've got this new campaign with the sheriff's office to lock your stuff up. Whether it's the car or the your house. I had something stolen from my car one time. I left the window down. I had a paper bag filled with dog cookies in it. and I came back to the car and there were no dog cookies. I said, well, somebody took them. They probably were surprised to find out that they got nothing, basically. But
yeah.
Somebody was hungry, apparently.
Well, they didn't know what it was. They just saw the bag and they just took it and ran, probably. Yeah.
Well, that's something very important to tell your clients, though. Don't keep the car running or else you can't unlock it, because how many people would actually do that and think they're doing something good?
Well, there's more of a reason to not leave your car running and walk away from it, because there's actually a Florida statute that says it's illegal to leave your car running unattended.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, that's good.
I would have made that
would
mistake
never
again,
do that.
too.
Leave my car running. Never, ever. So when you key in the keypad on the driver's door, then you can put whatever number is in there, and then you also have the sequence of the numbers that, what to push first on it?
Yeah, the way the keypad is situated, you got 1 and 2 that share a number, 3, 4 that share a button, 5, 6 that share a button. So you would just type in whatever code it is. So if it, 1, 2 is obviously the same button, but once you type in your 5 or 6 digit code, I don't remember how many numbers it is now. You would just it would unlock the door, then you would hit the last number again, and it would unlock all the doors.
Oh, okay. And then, but would I need that code? Would my key still work in the lock to turn it to open the door, or
Absolutely.
after you do it? Oh, okay. So we can still do that then. Okay. Well, good. I like that. I will be there.
This is probably a real simple question for you, but how do you unstick a lock? Like if your key is in your door, like in my house, the back door, and I turn it, and it's like, gosh, it's like I'm fighting against it. There's something not smooth. Would WD-40, would that work?
We use WD-40. The worst thing that you can put in a lock is graphite, and
Really?
Yes. Any kind of a wet lubricant or silicone-based lubricant works great. A dry lubricant like your graphites, it actually does more damage inside.
Oh wow! But they used to sell graphite specifically for that purpose.
They did. There's still a lot of people that use graphite.
And they figured out it was a mistake.
It really comes down to what we see inside the locks with the lubricants that the manufacturers are putting into the locks, the graphite mixed with those lubricants. It makes for a messy, messy situation.
Oh gosh, I got to tell you something that I tried one time and regretted trying it. There was a video on YouTube that said you could open up a car door with a slit tennis ball. Have you ever seen this?
The old Mercedes and BMWs.
Okay, so I slit the tennis ball. I put it on the lock of my car to see if it was true. I pushed in, and it didn't open up. Okay, but listen to what happened next. About maybe a day, 2 later, and Robert, the lock literally fell into my door.
It did.
I could no longer get in on that side unless it was unlocked.
It fell right.
Have you ever heard of this before? The lock literally fell into the door.
The problem is the way the manufacturers are designing their vehicles in today's market. There's very little that holds a door lock in place now. It's just a small clip inside of a plastic housing, and most of the time the locks now are plastic too.
And I probably broke it when I pushed on that tennis ball.
You could have broke the plastic housing around the handle, which held the lock in place.
So did you, when you mentioned the 2 cars that you said that tennis ball trick would work on, does it actually work on those cars?
The older Mercedes and BMWs, and we're going back into the 70s and early 80s.
Right.
And then manufacturers realized that there was a problem because everything was vacuum driven. So what you're doing with the tennis ball trick is you're forcing air like a vacuum into the locking system. And that's what unlocks the cars.
Okay, Seth, you have a phone call. If you put the headset on, you'll be able to hear the caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good. Good morning. You're on the air with Seth.
Hello.
Good morning, Seth, Larry, and Robin. This is Mary. How are all of you doing?
Good.
Good?
Doing good.
Good. Listen, I had another call come in, and I lost track of the conversation, but you started out, talking about the locks and stuff like that, and the keyless entry. I think Robert was talking about numbers and stuff like that. Listen, I was at Walmart just a couple of weeks ago, and why I'm calling is because I don't think it's a good idea with these keyless entries. Somebody had a master, and when I came out of the store, I saw several cars, like they were unlocking, and I didn't see anybody there with them. I didn't pay any attention because sometimes you can be a certain distance from your vehicle and you can unlock it, which was my intention. But I didn't know that they were in the area, they opened my sliding door, and they stole a big book bag with several items in it.
Oh.
And so I want to disconnect that. How do I do that? Can you get into that?
So you're wanting to disconnect the electronic locks?
Absolutely.
Well, the electronic...
Yeah, I don't want that to happen to me again, because it's still on. Because these people, these thieves, I might as well call them what they are, and they're going in. I mean, I reported it to police. The police report was taken, and Walmart. When you go up to the front doors, there's like this little bulb that looks like a camera. You know, their security camera.
Uh-huh.
And the police officer informed me that only goes like 10, 20 feet, and the parking lot is not covered. So there's nothing covering, the parking lot where they say you're under surveillance, you have camera here, you see it on and off throughout the parking lot, but they're not covering you. You know what I'm saying? So can that be done? Can you do that?
Well, generally people aren't getting into a vehicle through the electronics.
Well, they did mine. I don't know how they do it. They must have some kind of master or something, because my Bible was in there. It was almost 50 years old. I was starting to read it again and enjoy it again, and another book that I loved, and several things. And I've not seen my stuff since. You know what I'm saying? And it's not funny, but it's like the only way I can relieve the stress, because it was so stressful to lose that stuff. You felt, well, everybody feels invaded, when somebody robs.
A lot of times on the keyless entry on a vehicle, they're tied into so many other areas of the electronics in the car that sometimes, depending on the car, we cannot actually disable them. In certain circumstances, we can disable them, and if I'd be more than happy to talk to you, and if we can disable it, and if that's something that you're wanting to do, we can definitely do that for you. But most of the time, they're tied into a lot of other areas, and it's not something that's recommended, because you can actually cause other issues.
I didn't know that. See. Okay, it was just a question for you.
All right.
Wow.
Go ahead and keep your number, and call you back, and maybe I can bring my van over, and you can see if you
Absolutely.
can. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mary. That's the way to do it, yeah. All right, we need to take a little break, and we'll be right back with Seth.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Plenty of sunshine on the way for today. Will be nice and warm for the afternoon, high 85 to 87. Tonight, a mainly clear sky, low 60 to 65. Partly sunny for tomorrow. Can't rule out a shower. High tomorrow, 79 to 84. Then as we get into the day on Thursday, we'll have some sunshine once again. High Thursday, 79 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
In a study involving more than 2,000 people, those with slimmer waistlines showed higher cognitive ability than those who were overweight or obese. Our pets improve our character and make us much better people. If your partner's the one who's stressed out, we know that you will be 25% more likely to be affected than a stranger would be. Yeah, be careful, because stress is contagious.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
If you missed Southern Pigskin Tonight recently, you missed Urban Meyer talking about what it takes to man up.
You hear the term man up or next man ready, and everyone says that. We've certainly been a part of situations where that hasn't happened, where the next man wasn't ready. Obviously, the credit goes to the player first.
So join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. for Southern Pigskin Tonight, right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 20 minutes after 11 o'clock, off air, we were just hearing about a story about a guy who locked himself out of his house, and Seth went and rescued him, but the guy was in his underwear, so it's kind of funny. So what happened? I mean, you went over to his house, and what happened? He just walked out, and why did he walk out in his underwear anyway?
I don't know. I don't ask questions.
They called you up, said, do you get a lot of those calls? I mean, is that a big part of what you do, is helping people get back into their vehicles and their cars? I mean, and their houses?
Cars, houses, absolutely. 3 o'clock in the morning, I was out, had a lady that locked herself out of her house and her car. She said, get me in the car, I can get in the house, get me in the house, I get in the car, it doesn't matter.
Oh, my.
But she had a bad situation because 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, her husband decided to park his car in the middle of an intersection and walk, and then fell flat to his face.
What?
Oh.
Apparently he was drunk.
Okay.
And she wasn't much better off, but she just wanted to get in her house. So he's in the hospital getting arrested, and so I got the car open so she can get into the house, and
oh, gee.
Don't care what happened after that.
Well, are there some certain circumstances, like, I don't know, for safe boxes or something, where there are 3 keys and 3 different people have to all have their key? I heard something on the radio about this.
For a safe deposit box for inside of a bank you're talking about?
I don't really know. It sounded like you couldn't rob me because my key is only going to open 1/3 of it or something.
There's a lot of safes out there and safe deposit boxes in a bank where the bank will keep one key, then the customer will get the other key, and then it requires both people with both keys to open the box up.
Oh, okay.
And do you install anti-theft systems in cars?
We do not. I will just supply factory replacement remotes, but I don't install if it didn't come from the factory with it.
Oh, okay.
But now, can you talk about the camera thing that your caller mentioned, where the camera didn't really cover the whole parking lot? Most of us don't own parking lots, but we own yards, right? So when we have one of those camera systems outside of our house, do those cameras cover the whole yard or just the door? Or can it be adjusted either way?
The camera's going to cover whatever we adjust it to cover. The average that we like a camera to get is about 30 feet. Much more than 30 feet, you're starting to see small images, and it's going to be real hard to make anything out. We're going to see 50 feet.
I got you. Right.
Mm-hmm. But we're not going to be able to see who it was at 50 feet. So obviously the closer to the camera, the more we can explode it, the more we can see exactly the image that we're looking for.
Do you know what's a real deterrent, I think, is when the light comes on, because you don't know if it was turned on because you got near the house or because somebody's in the house and turned it on. So do you sell those devices that will turn on a light as somebody gets closer to your door?
That's just a motion activated light that we don't sell them because it's actually a high voltage thing.
Oh, okay.
Now I think they're starting to migrate some of those motion lights into low voltage, but that's all stuff that can be picked up at the box stores or any electrical supply house or.
Oh, okay.
What if a person loses their key totally for the car? Can you come out and make it from scratch?
We definitely can.
What do you use, the PIN number or what VIN number?
The VIN number?
Yeah.
We try not to use the VIN number to make keys. We like doing things the way it's meant to be done as a locksmith. We like to make keys from scratch. Mm-hmm. There's a real locksmith, and then there's the one that pretends to be a locksmith.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
So what is it over my head if you try to explain it? Well, everything's over my head, but I mean, is there a way for me to understand what you do without watching you?
Basically what we'll do is, we have for a lot of vehicles, we have special tools that we can actually decode a lock and then make the key from what we decode. With some vehicles, we'll take a door apart, get the lock out of there, make the key from the lock itself, and then we'll finish it up so it works the ignition.
Are all locks automatic now? I mean, like one key when you put it in the a door, and then you open it up to open the other doors, and then you push the button and the other locks come up. Are they automatic? All automatic now in vehicles?
There's still a lot of manual vehicles.
Oh, there are?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I hate to get locked inside and then not. That happened to my uncle one time. They had a Firebird, and they all got in the car, and he turned the key on, and there was something wrong with the ignition or something, and it just locked them inside because they couldn't even get out from the inside. We had to call a locksmith for them to come out to pop open the door.
You know, I've heard stories of people getting locked in vehicles. Mm-hmm. Usually it's babies locked in vehicals, but very rare that people are locked in vehicles.
Adults. It was an old, an older, I guess it was when they were first making that.
The way a car is situated, it's very, very difficult to get locked in a vehicle. Usually when we have somebody that's locked in a car, it's because they're an older person and they don't have the strength to pull the handle, which pulling the handle activates everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I was trying to imagine that too. How come they couldn't get out? Mm-hmm. They didn't have a hammer?
Yeah, no, they were all in the car. They were ready to go.
Bust through the window or something like that?
Unless you had a hammer in the car.
And with these new cars, the way the electrical systems are set up, you're still not supposed to get locked in a vehicle, but everything is so electrically driven that it is very possible for the car to go absolutely haywire, and you could have issues.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
But the house locks, I mean, they've come a little bit farther too. I mean, the technology applies to them as well, doesn't it?
With house locks, absolutely. We've got simple locks. We've got more advanced locks. It really depends on what kind of security or use they're wanting to get out of it.
Do you have lights on locks?
Lights on locks?
It's a dumb question. But when I get home, okay, I got a little flashlight that I got from Jim George. But sometimes, you have a hard time finding that keyhole. Is there a way to kind of just light it up or something?
Well, with a lot of the new electronic locks, there's a button on it that you can press, which will illuminate the keypad. Now, as far as a mechanical lock, we have keys that have flashlights built onto them.
Onto the key?
Onto the key.
Okay, well, either way.
Do you recommend the keypads for individual homes or just for businesses?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, because that one's so convenient here. I just love that one.
I do, too.
The one that we installed on the back door.
Yeah.
I do, too.
It's great.
I have way too many keys on my... you know what's weird is keys have the ability to reproduce, I think. Because I have so many keys on my key ring, I don't even remember what they were all for. I got to go through them and thin it out. It's way too big. Gets in the way of everything. So you replaced Joe Martone's key, and you were saying that it's a different kind of a key? It's not the normal rigid, raggedy edge?
Correct. We didn't replace it. We gave him a new one.
Gave him a new one.
He bought a new used vehicle, and he only got one key for it. So it was what we call a high security key, and we were able to provide him with a replacement key / remote, and then got it programmed to the car. Mm-hmm. So plugged in the computer and was able to program the key to it.
What is your phone number and where are you located? I think we should squeeze that in with a little more time than we usually give you.
Our phone number is 867-1965. We are 4 buildings east of U-Haul, right off of 441 at 219 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala.
Okay. Boy, I know exactly where you are. I didn't realize that's where you were.
Now, one of the things that I did want to mention that I tipped on earlier is you got us as real locksmiths, and then you have fake locksmiths. And there actually is such a thing.
Really?
Really.
Oh, my gosh.
There's what we call the trunk slammers and the con artists. Mm-hmm. And it is actually becoming a major issue.
Really?
What'll happen is these guys will come in from... overseas, India, wherever they want to come from,
right.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll start advertising in the phone book, start advertising heavily online, and you call them up, you ask for a price, you get your price, and you get out there, and then they say they can't do something, and then they charge you 3, 4, 5, 6 times more than what was initially quoted.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
There's been stories all over the internet, especially down in Tampa. So we definitely have some of those guys here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, call,
we call
call
you.
Seth. Now you have somebody who you can trust. It's 867-1965?
That's correct.
867-1965, or call us and we'll repeat that for you. Thank you, Seth. Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The new director of the Secret Service getting a grilling on Capitol Hill on recent events involving agency personnel.
Anytime you have a senior level on a